Hey guys, you're watching Python tutorial videos on my YouTube channel, Python for Microscopists. In the previous tutorial, I talked about Dockerizing your Python application, where we took a few lines of code in Python that actually does denoising using non-local means algorithm, and created a Docker image and then ran it to create a bunch of Docker containers. Well, we actually ran it a couple of times. So now the question is, how can we actually run this Docker container in the cloud? Yeah, that's the whole point of creating a Docker container, so you can make an application that is portable. So there are many ways of actually running this your Docker container in the cloud. Let me introduce a couple ways. First of all, if you any of the cloud platforms, like you can take Google, Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, it doesn't matter. They all have a way of running Docker containers in the cloud, and their documentation is amazing. I mean, they're pretty good at actually telling you every little step. Like here is, I just Google searched for Docker on Azure, and they actually have like these getting started. Of course, you have to sign in for Microsoft Azure account, and then they walk you through, and I believe you can run your Docker for free. I don't know for how long, but you can run your Docker for free a few times on Microsoft Azure account and also on the Amazon Web Services. Just Google search for Amazon Web Service, deploy Docker, and they also have like very good step-by-step, although it's a pretty long process, as you can see. Configure your cluster, do this, do that, and do this. Now, one thing I really would like to be upfront about is I did try to do this on Amazon Web Services. I never tried Azure, and I found this to be a bit complicated, meaning I had to at some point it looks like you have to have some knowledge, like a developer knowledge or something. So, but again, I may be one of those dumb people who find some of these steps to be a bit tedious and frankly boring. But I'm pretty sure this is an amazing platform. In fact, a lot of companies are actually running their Dockers on either Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure, or I should also say to some extent on Google Cloud. And of course, other Alibaba Cloud and a whole bunch of other cloud services exist out there. Now, the best way, I should admit I'm a bit partial when I'm talking about this because I work for on a team that's actually developing this platform. But again, this is the reason why I learned a lot about Dockers. Is the best way to deploy the code as an application, especially for microscopy applications or image processing applications, is on a platform called APEER. And you can go to www.apeer.com, and of course, if you scroll all the way down, you see that this is just an initiative started by Zeiss, at least as of 2019, an initiative, and this is an initiative to bring the open source community, all the I should say the academia community or non-profit community together, so we can actually create a repository of image processing functions that can be easily connected together. Okay, so think of our non-local means code that we developed. In fact, I have the code still up here. And let's look at this code right now. There you go. So we actually wrote a few lines of code, or copied some of these lines of code from online documentation. But what it's doing is taking in a noisy image of Mona Lisa and giving us a cleaned image of Mona Lisa, and we named it NLM.jpg. And we converted this code into, well, we actually ran this code inside a Docker by defining a Docker file. Again, just to remind you guys, in case you haven't watched my previous tutorial, we looked at this online repository and downloaded Python 3 and worked inside a working directory that's named here, and then these are the 5 lines of instructions that actually creates a Docker image. Yeah, again, I know I'm repeating myself from the last tutorial, but just a quick reminder. Now the question is, okay, I want to deploy it online, and how do you use it, in a usable way? So that's when I actually am bringing up this platform that's designed for microscopy. especially for image processing or any other data processing purposes with a focus on microscopy. So now let me explain how we can actually, again, I plan on recording a different video that explains every little detail on how to convert your Docker or your code into an executable module on APEER. By that, what I mean is if you actually go to browse public and look at public modules, this is a public repository of all the Docker containers submitted by various people, like both users and also the team APEER itself. And you may find some of these useful. And in fact, this is, I have yet to test this, but I'm excited to see the mask RCNN predictors, because this is an amazing way of performing instance segmentation. Yeah, remember I talked about units in one of my previous tutorials, and the next unit is a semantic segmentation. For example, it tells you, okay, there are people here, all these pixels correspond to people, but then it doesn't tell you that this is person 1, person 2, person 3. So mask RCNNs are amazing because that's exactly what they do. They do object, or I don't want to say object detection, but in a way that's what it is, instance segmentation. So anyway, so this is a Docker container, just like the one we have created, except this does prediction of RCNNs. This was the training of RCNNs based on your training data. So there are a whole bunch of modules. This one apparently does image colorization. So go through each of these, but I have already uploaded the one that we created yesterday. So if I click on this non-local means denoising, and by the way, I uploaded and requested the APEER team to publish my module. That's exactly why I am seeing my module here, right? So otherwise, it's not public at all. You can run your own thing where no one can see it, which under my workspace, so my modules. Yeah, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about a bunch of public modules, and I submitted mine, and obviously I work for the APEER team, and the guys are nice enough to approve my my module here. So when I click on this non-local means denoising, now it's not just a piece of code. Obviously, you can download the code if you want. If you're curious about how I have created this, you can go ahead and download this. It's open. But the best part is now I can actually run this in the cloud by clicking on creating a workflow. Let's say, okay, my NLM workflow. Okay. And a workflow is basically where I'm connecting my module to some other modules. That's the best part. If you run only your code in the cloud, what fun is in there, right? So the fun is when you make it usable. Like I know that this does denoising, but then the first step is uploading the image. Or you can even add a converter, right? So if you have your image in some sort of a microscopy proprietary format, then you can come here and say, okay, where is my omitive converter? Okay, it's alphabetical, so omitive converter right there. Go ahead and add it, so it converts your image into a TIFF file with embedded metadata, and that you can take it and then you can try to denoise. Okay, so you got the point. And once you denoise it, you can actually do, I don't know, let's say OTSU based thresholding or something. Yeah, automated image segmentation. So there is a bunch of these, and you can just go to for example advanced threshold, and you can select OTSU as part of your parameters. And once it's thresholded, you can actually add another module to actually separate the particles or something else. So let's not get derailed here. Let's keep it simple. I'm going to connect these two. The output from here is going to the input here, and let's actually define what my input file is going to be. I can actually drag my Mona Lisa file, since we already have it here, the noisy file here. And by the way, on this platform, you can actually store up to I believe half a terabyte of free storage. So go ahead and, oh sorry, I forgot to. Okay, there you go. It's uploading. Go ahead and store your files, but that if you want to use it on your workflows. But anyway, there is my noisy Mona Lisa image, and let me click on the next. This is the one I created, right? This is our non-local means denoising module that we created. And in this case, how is the UI generated, user interface? This is pretty cool, isn't it? Right? Now the user can actually change, instead of going into the code, the user can change patch size and patch distance. The user can select fast mode equals to true or false. And remember, all I did is from my code, instead of hard coding patch size and patch distance, and I also added fast mode here equals to true or something. We are just providing that from the user interface. That's why I recommend using APEER. Well, because it makes your module usable by you and also by others. Of course, nothing wrong in using Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure, but you see, you will be running this code as that, and others cannot. I mean, what we try to achieve at APEER is making the module in a usable way. Yeah. So that's it. So I have my input image and that I'm selecting. In fact, I can actually select multiple images. If I have a different image, I can actually add all the images I want here. So you can do batch processing. You can select 100 images and then do non-local means. If you want to do this in Python code, you have to write some code to actually walk through your folders and select all the images you want and all of that stuff. So that's amazingly easy here. So now go ahead and hit the run, and then it'll go ahead and run it. Okay, this is how simple it is. Again, how to create your module. I'm gonna create another video. If you want, you can watch it. Otherwise, go ahead and use Amazon Web Service or Microsoft Azure. Well, now that it's done, let's click on See Results. And you should see, there you go, the cleaned Mona Lisa picture. And at this point, you can actually download the image, or you can actually visualize it using the online visualization that's embedded within the platform. And of course, you can visualize 2D, 3D, 4D images using this online visualization. So, and of course, whatever I'm doing, obviously you can access this because this is a browser based, this is online. You can do everything even from like your smart device, your iPhones or Android phones or whatever. So there you go. So this is I think the best way to deploy your code online, especially if you're in the microscopy field or image processing field, because you not only run your own modules or code, you can actually go to this online repository and actually find other modules that are useful for you, and then connect them to your module, and then really customize end-to-end workflows. And again, I don't want to make this an APEER demonstration. You can go ahead and check this out and like it or hate it at your own time. But like I said, like the workflow that we just created should be already here, my NLM workflow. So anytime I can actually come here and then work on this. And if all my results are also stored, so my NLM workflow results are stored here. And if I really would like to share these results with someone, you can just click on the share. It generates a unique link, and you can just tweet this, share it with anyone, and they don't need to be APEER users. They can just look at your results. So if you're publishing a paper by creating your modules and workflows, then this can be an amazing way. Once you have your results, you can actually copy this and then make this link available to the readers of your publication, so they can actually come here, look at your results. They can download your input files and output files. In fact, they can also rerun the workflow using your data and also using their own data. So this makes this entire code and workflows being very repeatable, rather than using fragmented pieces of software. So anyway, I apologize if you find this to be a bit commercial, but again, I should mention that APEER is a free platform for nonprofits, and most of it is open source, like the public modules. If I go, like I said, NLM module or whatever, most of the modules, we encourage the developers to actually make their code downloadable. Of course, you don't have to, but we encourage everyone, so you can look into the code if you really want. So anyway, so I hope you found this tutorial to be useful, educational. I really encourage you to check out APEER. Of course, if you like it, you will definitely use it. If you think you want something else, something different, then check out Amazon Web Services. Like I said, they have excellent documentation here in terms of how to take your code and follow these steps and then run it in the cloud. Yeah. So follow any of these, and I'll remember to actually upload my next video to be a tutorial on how to actually take your code, again, the code that we have written, and create an APEER module. Yeah. So with the user interface and everything, remember the non-local means actually has this user interface where user can enter the patch size, patch distance, and all of that. I'll show you how easy it is to actually create that. So please wait for that video. But until then, I really appreciate if you can like this video and leave hopefully a good comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.